As you know, there's a huge shortage of people who know how to code in this country. Well, an enterprising entrepreneur has come to the rescue. You'll meet the founder of iCode next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is The Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I can't think of a time in my lifetime when being a geek has been so cool. I mean, think about it. All of our heroes are the Elon Musks, the Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and they're all into technology. And a man who is making sure that the next generation knows how to code is in studio, Abid Abedi. He's the founder of iCode. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff, for having me.
Well, I really admire you as an entrepreneur. We've known each other for a long time. How many startups?
I've done 15 startups.
15 startups.
The last 40 years.
You probably created a company or two while you were waiting for this show to start. I want to talk about the inspiration for iCode. Where did it come from?
It comes from, I've been in the tech, even though, as you know, I'm a tax accountant, and I've hired thousands of tech folks. And one of the things that they don't do very well is communication, social, interpersonal skills, teamwork, collaboration. So that was something that frustrated me, throughout my career as a tech entrepreneur. And coupled with the fact that, there's always a shortage of technical talent. As long as I've since the 90s, since I've been in business. And I know the society we're creating in the future has to do with tech. The toll collectors on Dallas Tollway are no longer there, right? So the jobs that we're creating is all had to do with tech. And the combination of those two things is what gave me the idea to start iCode.
Yes, but do the schools do a certain amount of this or not really?
In terms of
helping kids learn computers?
Absolutely. I mean, iCode, as you know, is a after-school program that teaches kids robotics and computer programming. Among, our key differentiator is teaching kids the soft skills, the interpersonal, the critical thinking, the problem solving, teamwork, yes, collaboration. That's sort of the focus. Yes, we teach them 7 different languages when they go through a belt system, from all the way from foundation belt to master black belt. But our focus is not just exclusively on teaching kids how to code, but more importantly, the interpersonal skills that are so important. So we have campuses throughout the US in 23 different states. And we do that very well. And the summer camps are coming up, and those are just amazing camps. We have over 28 different camps that we're offering this summer for kids with a variety of interests. So it's a fun, our campus actually look better than Apple Store.
Is that right? And I've been to several of your campuses. You do a great job, and you can feel the energy as soon as you walk in, and the kids are super excited. In fact, we found a great video. Let's go ahead and roll that.
So we got 4 camps going on this week. Java with Minecraft, digital arts, YouTube, and then we have coding adventures going on right behind me. And it's all different levels of sophistication.
And then if you do A minus minus, then it becomes, the value of A becomes 8.
I wish I started as young as they are. And I think I started relatively early too. And they're here learning how to code. It just really kind of blows my mind about how, the opportunity the kids have here and how awesome it is for them.
It's fun when we get to actually do the stuff after we learn how to do it.
It's really fun, and you actually get to learn lots of new things.
I learned how to use Audacity and Adobe Premiere.
Editing, how to use a camera, different camera angles.
Any job, computer science is always going to be very useful, regardless of what industry or field we go into, because So obviously the hard skills involved of, actual software development, getting more fluent with computers. There's also like the soft skills. The kids learn to communicate better. They learn how to work with other people. And on top of that, I think the kids have a lot of fun. I think you'll see behind me, all the kids are always smiling, having a great time. If they associate the fun with computer science, they'll naturally want to be with computer science as they grow. I think that's one of the best parts of iCode.
You want to edit it.
Very
so,
good.
To make sure, like if you mess up, that can be taken out. And if you want some music somewhere, you can put that in there.
Say there's a fan in the background, we're trying to remove that background sound.
This is a sound file.
It kind of shows that computer science can be very productive, but also very fun at the same time.
Well, you have to be so impressed at how this is really taken off. Obviously, there's a lot of hard work, but you don't get to roll it out to so many states if it's not a hit.
Absolutely. All the 15 businesses that I've started, iCode gives me the tremendous satisfaction because it's not only a business, but it's something doing good for society. There's not a single event that I go to for iCode that at least more than one parent will come and thank me for starting iCode. Now, one of the last time that I started a business, somebody came and actually thanked me for starting, right? It is tremendously gratifying and satisfying business.
Well, we've known each other now for, I want to say, at least half a decade, maybe longer, and you told me one day about an amazing success story, and I called a friend of mine at Channel 8, and it was a very heartwarming piece. Let's go ahead and roll that.
It took one young man in Dallas a little while to discover his passion, but now he's on a track for an incredibly bright future. Here's Sean Diggy with today's Diggy Bites.
What do we want?
When Ryan and Brandy Stafford welcomed their son into the world, they expected he would follow their footsteps and become an athlete. However, the apple did not fall under the tree. 14-year-old Ben Stafford tried playing sports, but never really took to them like his parents imagined.
And I think we had tried to push him in several different ways, and nothing had clicked.
Unsure of where he fit, they say Ben spent a while searching for his place in the world.
Yeah.
Until they noticed he had a way with computers.
I don't know, I just like the way you make the computer do anything.
Ben would often write programs and create games that people all around the world would play.
21,000.
He's even known around school as the tech kid.
Teachers have pulled me out of classes to come help them with their computer.
We have no idea how to do what he does, but we can play the games he creates.
And eventually, they learned about a place called iCode.
Okay.
iCode was started by Abid Abedi and teaches kids how to speak and create the language of computers.
Yeah.
Ryan and Brandy say almost instantly, Ben was more excited, more confident, and more convinced of where he belonged.
So I've got it for the first time.
He's already taken the highest level courses, and at his first coding competition, he won.
And just to see the joy, it was better than any sports tournament victory.
Kids have gifts, and we got to figure out what those are, and their gifts are not the same as our gifts.
Ben hopes to use his gifts to create technology that will make the world a better place.
Yeah.
A reminder that the greatest way to make an impact is to be yourself.
Yeah, and then when it gets it right, it breaks.
Sean Gicke.
Wow, that is so touching, and I think that's going to change his trajectory for the rest of his life. If you think back on when you were in school and when I was in school, the cool person was the football star,
Absolutely.
the basketball star, but now more often than not, it's the kid who can code.
Yep. I think kids are making millions.
Yeah.
Just playing video games, right? Or the battle of the bots. So I think it's not only, a fun thing kids are doing, but actually they are monetizing as well.
Sure. So if there's a parent watching right now and they're thinking, is this right for my kid? How does a parent know when iCode is right for them?
Look, I think, teaching kids how to code is it's the language of the future. Mm-hmm. They have to know it, regardless of what profession they want to go in. They have to understand tech. The other thing that I'll always tell the parents is get them involved early. If you don't get them involved early, like my own kids, right? I have 3 daughters. None of them are in tech because I wasn't in tech. I didn't get them involved in tech. So the one thing that I ask the parents is, get your kids involved in tech. Whether it's iCode or our competitors, it really doesn't matter. I think it's important that the kids learn how to code.
Well,
This is important.
I can back him up on this because my son Dallas, who's my head of business development, learned to code when he was just a little kid, and he was only doing it to beat a computer game. And now he's become one of the most valuable employees here because he's the guy who knows how to fix everything.
I mean, you have a lot of tech here. I mean, you have more tech than I have. So I think it's great what you're doing.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to put a map of the United States up on the screen, and as you look at this a bit, I mean, does this feel so wonderful to see how you've grown?
It is very gratifying. I must say that. But it goes to the fact that the model that we have, people like, right? We wouldn't grow otherwise. And that's very gratifying. And also, the fact that so many kids are getting engaged, is very, very heartwarming to see the impact that we're making on the society.
I know you're proud of your team because there's an old saying, maybe it's not that the kid can't learn, they just didn't have the right teacher. So talk a little bit about the kinds of team members you like to attract.
I think, it's important that, we create an environment where kids can learn. I walk into and I've taken my kids into, other after-school programs, and what I call them hole in the wall. And I don't think there's any parents that will disagree with me that dragging the kids to the Kumon or Methanasium or any other after-school education program, the kids don't like it. This is the only program, Jeff, that the parents tell me that the kids actually drag the parents to bring them into it.
Wow.
We are the only after-school program where we have hubs, or classrooms, what we call hubs. And the reason we have it because it promotes teamwork and collaboration. We all know that we learn better when we practice what we learn. Therefore, we have the drones, the robots, the EV3, the Raspberry Pi, the iSports machines, 3D printing, Legos, because our curriculum is just not teaching them how to code, but actually teamwork. So when they do the theory half an hour, then they get back and practice what they learn, it reinforces learning.
Yes.
So I think that's an important element of iCode, is just not teaching kids how to code, but actually, teaching them collaboration and teamwork, which I think is important.
And you're still a young man. I know you're in
You've been very kind of
empire building mode. Do you see this being like Starbucks, where one day there's a iCode in every neighborhood?
I think so. I think there's a tremendous demand. I think there's a tremendous market awareness that programs like iCode are critically important, because the school system, for 3 reasons, cannot sort of offer what iCode does, or similar businesses like iCode. One, the curriculum. We have the most STEM curriculum in the nation, over 5,000 hours of curriculum we have that the school system don't have. Second, they don't have the teachers that could teach. Now, some teachers might be able to teach low-level languages like Scratch and Alice, but when it comes to Python, Java, C++, the teachers don't have the knowledge to teach it. And the third reason the schools cannot do it is the investment in equipment that is needed. For those 3 reasons, the school system unfortunately cannot. And I think, our school system is failing our society and our kids. What we are teaching and how we are teaching the kids have not changed in decades. How kids are learning today is quite different. We didn't have access to a lot of the information, Jeff, that the kids have today on their phones. So the school system is still focused on memorization and vomiting in the exams, what I call it. But why don't we kind of get away from that and teach kids problem-solving skills, critical thinking, teamwork, build their confidence, presentation skills, right? These are the skills that are needed very much. So a lot of, in Austin actually, a lot of very creative private schools are coming up that is really addressing this need, but that's very, very few that are there in the country. So I think for those reasons, I think there is a place for iCode or a competitor of iCode. I don't intend to have 100% of the market by any stretch of imagination, but I think there are other players in the like Code Ninjas and Coder School, but I'm fine with saying that, but let the parents compare us to them and decide what is best for the kid.
Well, you're a true visionary. In the couple minutes that we have left, talk to the parent out there. There's always something going on, whether it be after school or camps. What's the next step for them? They go to your website?
Yeah, go to the website. As I said, if not iCode, some other website that teaches kids how to code. it's important that you get them involved early, because if you don't get them involved early, they're not going to catch on to it. And regardless whether they want to be in medicine or programming or agriculture, regardless of what industry your kid is going to be there, I think them understanding tech, understanding how to code, because teaching kids how to code teaches kids multiple different skills. And that's why I think it's important that the kids learn how to code.
Outstanding. Thank you. You've been an amazing guest. We're going to end with the website, which is icodeschool.com. The great Abid Abedi. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much, Jeff, for having me.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.